Closure for the family of Danquirs Franklin 4 years after a CMPD officer shot and killed him. That's where we're beginning tonight. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Molly Grantham.
And I'm Jamie Bull. Franklin's family reached a $1.5 million settlement with the city of Charlotte.
Officer Wendy Curl shot and killed Franklin in 2019 outside of Burger King on Beatties Ford Road. Body camera footage showed he had a gun. His family believes he died trying to comply with police commands to put that gun down. No charges were filed against the officer, and CMPD said the shooting was justified. Our Caroline Hicks was there as family spoke today about the settlement. Jamie.
Yep, she's on your side looking into the changes this case brought about. Caroline?
Well, this is a case that angered a community, sparking protests and also calling for CMPD to release the body camera footage of the shooting of Danquirs Franklin. Tonight, the family says they are feeling a sense of closure, and community leaders say this did bring about some positive changes within CMPD.
I wear his ring with me since the day he died. I have his class ring because this is the only way I can just keep him close to me.
Danquirs Franklin's sister, Audrey Joel Bryce, still carries the pain of losing her brother, but is grateful for this moment.
I just thank God that our family is finally going to get some closure.
A $1.5 million settlement with the city will be split between Franklin's 3 children. The case did not go to a jury trial, but attorney Luke Largess says the Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals overturning the decision to grant Officer Wendy Curl immunity from civil cases could set a precedent.
The tactics and decisions and commands given by an officer make a difference in deciding the constitutionality of a use of force, and that's a significant finding.
Franklin's death also changed the way officer-involved shootings in Charlotte are investigated. The State Bureau of Investigations now steps in.
It does build more public trust having SBI, having an outside agency look into cases like this.
Tanya Jamison is the chair of the Citizens Review Board. The board disagreed with CMPD's findings that this shooting was justified. In the wake of his death, they launched the Community Policing Crisis Response Team, with mental health clinicians accompanying officers to calls involving behavioral health issues.
We just keep trying to make the police department better and keep, the goal is to keep officers safe and keep people in the community safe as well.
CMPD also did make some changes to their use of force policies, implementing de-escalation efforts in the wake of his death. We reached out to the city for comment on this settlement. They say that settlement has not been finalized, so they're not able to comment at this point. But we will say the Franklin family attorney said there was no admission of liability on the city's behalf. I'm going to send things over to my colleague, Siobhan Bryan. She's delving deeper into this body camera footage and what it showed happened that day. Siobhan.
Caroline, thank you. And we have the video of the entire incident on WBTV.com, but we wanted to walk you back through what happened that day. As Caroline told you, it was March 25th of 2019. So it shows inside that Franklin entered the restaurant at 8:59 with children in tow. And you'll see there when he walks into the restaurant, he pushes past employees there. You see him even throw a female Burger King worker to the ground near a vending machine. All of these workers were there stunned at his appearance and trying to stop him. Caroline tells me that Franklin walked into this restaurant to confront the mother of his children. You see him running away from the restaurant. Then he walks back inside holding what looks like a gun. About 3 minutes after he first walked into that Burger King, some employees called 911.
Why do you need police there, ma'am?
Because it's a customer came up here and he walked behind the counter to fight an employee.
Ma'am, I just have to ask.
He got a gun.
Okay, what is he doing with the gun? Is he pointing at someone?
Now, the shooting sparked peaceful protests, and it came at a time when there had been a number of high-profile deadly encounters with police. The incident sparked conversations about police trust. And the shooting of Danquirs Franklin eventually led to changes within the department. Caroline mentioned some of those, including first aid training for officers to help them respond more immediately to victims of gunshot wounds, even if it was an officer who fired that shot. Jamie.
Siobhan, thank you. Let's take a live